It's impossible to find a good woman in the Philippines. And I'm telling you, if you're thinking about coming here looking for a wife, don't waste your time. I would say Peru, I had the best success. In the small towns in Colombia, I had good success. Philippines, complete disaster. So I'll compare and contrast. Philippines, they're filled with hatred. They will meet you the first time, they will tell you you're a scammer. That's it. You don't even have to have a conversation. Hey, what do you think of that guy over there? He's a scammer. How do you know? He's a man. That's it. So in Colombia, the women were very happy. I felt in Colombia I could date any one of these women. They were giving me good vibes, but the problem was they don't like to talk. If you ask them anything, it's like, anything, what type of food you like, anything, type of music you like, anything. It's like, why am I talking to you? And a lot of them, if a woman gives me the impression she wants to sleep on the first date, I would never date that. I'm looking for a wife to spend the rest of my life with. That woman will cheat on me because she has nothing invested in the relationship and she'll sleep with me on the first night. That means that she doesn't need something invested in a relationship to sleep with a guy, that she's going to stray. Some cultures, straying is okay. Not for me. So Colombians happy, beautiful. They dress nice. They wear high heels. They wear makeup. They wear nice clothes. Their handwriting is beautiful. They put hearts everywhere, hearts in the hair. It's a good experience, but they don't have brains. I did meet some women that have brains, and the ones that have brains, oh, you're a man, you're sexist. The smart ones, it's like the fruit from the tree of knowledge. Eden eats the fruit from the tree of knowledge. She learns the difference between good and evil, but they apply it wrong. They say, they look at the outcome and they create the story. Oh, you don't have any money? It's because you don't manage your money. No, I don't have money because somebody robbed me. They create their own story, which is completely wrong. And it's always that you're dysfunctional. The man is dysfunctional is the reason why. That's what the tree of knowledge story is about. In Peru, the women were a lot nicer. When I met women in Peru, they looked at me with admiration. If I ever leave the Philippines, I'm going to tell you something in case you're watching. If immigration knocks on this door right now and says you're an undesirable American, you badmouth Philippine women on the internet, I'm going to say, I'll pack up my stuff right now, take me to the airport, and that's it. And I'm not joking about that. If they ever come and say they're taking with me, I'm not going to fight with them. I'm going to be like, I'm out of here. Just so you know, they do pay for your flight home. It's like $1,000, even though I got the frequent flyer miles. But I will go to Peru. I answered my own question. Where you go? It's Peru. Peru, they look at me with admiration, Maybe not a big smile, but I saw lots of these faces, and they're more likely to speak English. In Colombia, they pretend that they don't speak English over here too, because they don't want to associate with you. You should just pass on those women. You're not going to win them over. This is how you meet a woman in Colombia on a blind date. They come in the room, they see you, and they look away. Got that over and over again, blind date in Colombia. They saw me disappointed and look away. I won some of those women over, but what they don't understand is they hurt me too much. I'm like, you didn't even give me a chance. You gave me one look and you looked away. And I would dress up with a suit, look really nice. They don't care. I always shave on a date. They don't care. In Peru, the women were very nice. In the small towns, Manizales, Colombia, the women were excited to meet me. And I was like, I'm glad I met this woman. And there were other good things about the women. I just don't want to get into that. But it was difficult to have a conversation. I didn't speak Spanish. The problem is, this is what you're going to find. If you go and say, I'm going to live here. I will move to your city. And we can go out to dinner, go see movies. They don't ever want to speak to you again. But if you come and say, I'm only going to be here for 2 weeks, they'll say, when do you leave? I leave 2 weeks from now on Friday night. So let's go for a date on Thursday. They'll see you the day before you leave because they don't want to meet you now and then have another date and another date. I went to Peru for 3 weeks, met a woman Second day I was there, and she kept postponing the dates. I saw her like one other time since I was like, this woman doesn't care about me. And she was the one who was sitting on my bed. I don't want to leave. And I said, get your bags. Going to the airport. That was the woman. She was playing games with me. It's like, if I'm here for 3 weeks, you don't say you're busy with work. She wasn't busy with work. You don't say that. She gets out of work at 6 p.m. What you say is, we will spend as much time together as possible. She didn't want to do that. So if you are committed to a long term, they don't want you. There's a guy sitting next to me. I live here. He's here for 3 days. The women are looking at him like they're all passionately in love. He's like me, but thinner. Blonde hair, amazing looking guy, was a Navy SEAL my height. They all look like he's in love with him. And I'm like, he said he's here for only 3 days. I live here. None of those women would give me the time of day. And they were angry that I didn't approach them. I was like, you ignored me for an hour. You sat next to me on the bus for half an hour. You didn't talk to me. I don't have to approach you. So, Peru. In Peru, I barely spoke Spanish. I was I knew words in Italian. So I'd have to say, how do you say it in Italian? Perché. In Spanish, it's porque. So then I would have to convert. I would think of it in Italian, translate it to Spanish, and then I would say, io porque. I would mix the languages together. Most of the women were cool with that. In Colombia, they'd be like, why are you speaking so funny? It's like, I'm a foreigner. I'm not fluent in Spanish. Why don't you speak English? I always made the effort. I said, I know the women aren't going to learn English. I will make the effort to learn Spanish, and I did. Yo puedo hablar en español muy bueno porque yo vivo, I don't know how to say past tense, en Colombia por 9 años. My Spanish is pretty good. They didn't care. The more Spanish you learn, the angrier they get. Someone told me in Ukraine the same thing. The more you learn, the angrier they get that you don't understand something. I don't understand every word in Spanish. If you don't understand, they get angry, and that's it. They expect you to know everything. They're crazy people. In Peru, the women were a lot nicer. I met a woman. I was falling in love with her on the date. She was a sweet woman. I'm going to tell you, she was really ugly. She had like this large thing on her nose, and her hair was horrible. It was like a pyramid, curls coming out to here. And I was like, she was so sweet, the way she was talking to me. But I'm thinking, she lives outside of town, like an hour or two away. I don't know this place. I don't know my way around. I don't live here. Don't know if I could chat with her on the internet. This was a long time ago, 20 years ago. They did not have email addresses in Peru, but they had it in Colombia. So no way to communicate with her. How do I know how to see her again? It takes so a long time to come here. How am I going to get there? How am I going to do this? Maybe I wasn't there much longer because I didn't live there. I only visited like 2 months at a time. I don't remember if I did 6 months in Peru. It's hard to remember. And I was like, I'm probably not going to see this woman again. Oh, you know what? I probably was still meeting other women that week. And then at the end, I was like, you know what? Don't be stupid. The other women don't care about you. One woman literally got on the computer. Said, I need to go use the computer. And I went to go use the computer after she left, and she was sending notes to another guy. It's like, when you're on a date, you respect your date. You don't go chatting with another guy and tell him how great he is. And he was a lot fatter than I am. He sent a horrible photo, one of the worst photos I ever saw that guy sent. It's like, what's wrong with this woman? She meets me and she thinks she's going to go chat with another guy? I'm here right now. Because they like to try to get you to come. Because that's when you say you love them and all that stuff. But when you're here, they're not interested. They don't try any hard. They chicken out. And I understand. I went through it. The first time a woman asked me out on a date, I said no. I got scared. I immediately said no. I was like 18 years old. But after that, I vowed. I said, I'm never going to do that again, and I never did. Peru, first. Small town Colombia, second. Avoid Philippines. Don't waste your time coming here. Avoid, I think, communist countries and extreme poverty.